The St. Louis Blues, a franchise that recently tasted the ultimate glory of a Stanley Cup victory, now find themselves in an alarming and unfamiliar predicament. Their current season has unfolded into a stark narrative of struggle and disappointment, prompting serious questions about the team's trajectory. As the National Hockey League approaches its crucial Olympic break, the Blues are teetering on the brink of what could be their worst performance in 2 decades, a stark contrast to the promise they once showed. Currently, the team occupies the unenviable position of second to last in the league standings, accumulating a meager 49 points. This dismal ranking is largely a consequence of their recent form, which has seen them lose 8 of their last 9 games. This precipitous drop has not only extinguished any lingering playoff aspirations, but has also cast a long shadow over the entire organization. The playoffs, once a reasonable expectation for this team, are now a distant afterthought, replaced by a growing sense of frustration and uncertainty among fans and analysts alike. This significant downturn is not an isolated incident, but rather the culmination of several interconnected issues, each contributing to the team's ongoing woes. The once sturdy foundation of the St. Louis Blues appears to have eroded throughout this season, leading to a visible decline in performance across multiple facets of their play. With roughly 2/3 of the season now complete, the evidence of their struggles is undeniable and deeply entrenched in their statistical profile. The team's inability to secure wins, coupled with their consistent placement near the bottom of the league, underscores a systemic problem that demands immediate and thorough examination. This is not merely a slump, it represents a significant regression for a team that, not long ago, displayed the championship pedigree. The current state of affairs raises critical questions about team cohesion, individual player performance, and the strategic direction of the coaching staff and front office. The urgency to identify and address these underlying issues has never been greater, as the franchise grapples with the reality of a season that has gone profoundly awry. The collective effort and individual accountability are under intense scrutiny, with every game now serving as a further testament to their difficulties. The narrative surrounding the St. Louis Blues has shifted dramatically from one of potential contention to one of significant concern, marking a painful chapter in the team's history. This deep dive into their struggles aims to dissect the core reasons behind this unexpected and pronounced decline, providing a clearer understanding of how a once promising team arrived at such a challenging juncture within the rigorous landscape of the National Hockey League. The analysis will shed light on the specific areas where the team has faltered most significantly, offering insights into the complex interplay of factors that have contributed to their current predicament. The confluence of these factors has produced a perfect storm, manifesting in 5 critical areas that define the St. Louis Blues' current decline. One of the most glaring issues plaguing the team this season has been their propensity for second-period collapses. Across the league, no team has a worse goal differential in the second frame than the Blues, standing at a dismal -29. This consistent pattern of faltering after the first intermission severely limits their comeback opportunities, forcing them to relentlessly chase games and expend valuable energy. It suggests a recurring tactical or mental lapse where the team, despite often starting strong, loses control and momentum as the game progresses. Such an observable trend points to deeper systemic issues, whether it be conditioning, coaching adjustments, or a collective inability to maintain focus and discipline through all 60 minutes of play. Compounding these mid-game vulnerabilities are the persistent goaltending woes that have undermined the team's defensive efforts. Jordan Binnington, the celebrated netminder from their 2019 Stanley Cup victory, has experienced a significant regression in his performance. His current statistics, a .365 goals against average and an .864 save percentage, place him second to last and third to last respectively among qualified NHL goaltenders. These numbers are a stark deviation from the reliable form he once displayed, and represent a critical weakness for a team that historically relies on solid goaltending as its backbone. While backup Joel Hofer's numbers are marginally better, with a .294 GAA and a .895 save percentage, they are still not at a level that can consistently stabilize a struggling team. Inconsistent goaltending amplifies every other flaw, turning minor defensive breakdowns into costly goals and eroding confidence throughout the roster. A team built around a structured defensive system needs its goaltender to be the ultimate safety net, a role Binnington has been unable to consistently fulfill this season. Further exasperating their situation is the team's anemic power play, which has consistently ranked in the bottom quartile league-wide. With only 28 goals scored and a success rate of 17.83%, their special teams unit has failed to capitalize on crucial offensive opportunities. This represents a significant drop from last year's sturdy performance, where they boasted a 23% success rate, even in limited playoff chances. To put this into perspective, the league-leading Edmonton Oilers operate their power play at an astonishing 31% success rate, highlighting the competitive chasm that exists. In a league where special teams often dictate outcomes, the Blues' inability to convert with the man advantage places immense pressure on their 5-on-5 play, which is already under duress. Beyond statistical deficiencies, a critical factor has been the conspicuous lack of a standout scorer. Pavel Buchnevich leads the team with a modest 34 points, comprising 12 goals and 22 assists over 57 games. This places him tied for 134th in the league and represents the fewest points to lead any NHL team this season. The offensive production has been further hampered by the regression of usually reliable players. Robert Thomas, for instance, has seen his points per game drop from 115 to 0.78, while Jordan Kyrou, after 3 consecutive 30-goal seasons, is well below pace to reach that benchmark this year. The collective scoring output is simply insufficient to compensate for the team's defensive frailties and goaltending struggles, leaving them consistently outmatched on the scoreboard. Finally, intermittent effort concerns have been publicly acknowledged, casting a shadow over the team's commitment and focus. Head coach Jim Montgomery has openly criticized the team's not smart enough hockey, pointing to a lack of consistent effort and tactical discipline. Instances such as conceding game-winning goals in the final minute and notoriously blowing a 4-goal lead in a single period underscore these concerns. The decision to healthy scratch Jordan Kyrou in November served as a clear message regarding accountability, indicating that even star players are not immune to scrutiny over their engagement levels. This fluctuating effort, combined with strategic missteps, suggests a deeper issue of mental fortitude and collective responsibility within the locker room, preventing the team from consistently performing at the required NHL standard. The St. Louis Blues now face a critical juncture, with the immediate future offering both a reprieve and a deadline for significant decisions. The upcoming 3-week Olympic break provides a much-needed opportunity for reflection and regrouping, a chance for players to mentally reset before returning to action on February 26th against the Seattle Kraken. However, this respite is quickly followed by the looming NHL trade deadline on March 6th, a date that will undoubtedly define the team's strategic direction for the remainder of the season and beyond. Expectations are high that the Blues will assume the role of sellers, looking to shed assets and acquire future draft capital or prospects to kickstart a necessary rebuild or retooling. Several players on the current roster are likely to generate significant trade interest, given their experience, contract situations, and potential value to contending teams. Defenseman Justin Falk, with his consistent two-way play and reasonable contract, could be an attractive option for teams seeking veteran blue line stability. Similarly, Brayden Schenn, a versatile forward known for his leadership and offensive contributions, might draw attention from organizations looking to bolster their top 6 forward group for a playoff push. Mathieu Joseph, a speedy winger, and Oskar Sundqvist, a reliable bottom 6 center, represent additional pieces that could be moved for picks, offering depth and specific skill sets that are often coveted at the deadline. Perhaps the most intriguing and complex trade candidate is goaltender Jordan Binnington. Despite his recent struggles, his Stanley Cup pedigree and competitive fire could still appeal to a team desperate for goaltending help, though his substantial contract might complicate any potential move. The front office will need to carefully weigh the benefits of retaining these players against the opportunity to acquire valuable assets that can contribute to the team's long-term vision. The long-term implications of this season's struggles are multifaceted and could dramatically alter the franchise's trajectory. Should the team continue on its current downward spiral, finishing near the bottom of the league, they stand to secure a high selection in the 2026 NHL Draft. While a high draft pick offers a potential long-term benefit by bringing in elite young talent, it also underscores the depth of the current issues and the necessity of a significant overhaul. This scenario raises uncomfortable questions regarding the timeline for the Blues to rebound and how quickly they can construct a competitive team capable of contending for both immediate and sustained success. The path forward is fraught with uncertainty, A stark contrast to the promising outlook the franchise enjoyed just a few seasons ago. The management team faces difficult choices that will shape the team's identity for years to come. The challenge extends beyond player transactions. It involves a fundamental reevaluation of the team's philosophy, coaching strategies, and player development pathways. The issues identified, from second-period collapses and goaltending woes to power play struggles and effort concerns, are deeply ingrained and require more than superficial fixes. Rebuilding trust and confidence within the locker room, re-establishing a winning culture, and ensuring consistent accountability will be paramount. The organization must decide whether to pursue a rapid retooling, aiming to contend again in the near future, or embark on a more extensive, patient rebuild focused on cultivating homegrown talent. This decision will dictate the types of trades made, the coaching adjustments implemented, and the overall strategic direction of the franchise. The St. Louis Blues stand at a crossroads, with the path chosen in the coming weeks and months, determining whether this season's downturn is a temporary blip or the beginning of a more prolonged period of struggle. The fan base, accustomed to recent success, will be watching closely as the team navigates these turbulent waters, hoping for a clear vision that promises a return to contention. The future of the St. Louis Blues franchise hangs in the balance, awaiting a definitive course correction.